So, those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Antonia Harmon from Divine Empowerment, and I'm very grateful that you're here and spending some time with me today. So, I figured out how to dissolve emotional traumas, which sounds a little bit kooky. I'm aware of that, and thank you very much for jumping down the rabbit hole with me and trying it. So basically, the way I see it, emotion is energy. Look at the word emotion or energy in motion. And I spent the last 13 years largely in a trance state, which sounds, again, a bit strange, I know. However, I have awoken some of my latent abilities that I think we all have, because I think we're all gods and goddesses who have no clue how awesome we are. And I think that traumas are just a stagnation, like a gas around us, because they pop up sometimes, don't they? So you can be going about your day and nothing's happening particularly, and then something triggers you, and then suddenly this whole sort of, all these emotions just go over because you get reminded of a particular trauma that you may have had many, many years ago. And it just comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? And because it's not there all the time, it just sort of floods you like, gas in a room. But it's also that you can feel it when you hang around someone. If you hang around someone who's sad or angry or upset, or even someone that's happy, you can feel it on them almost immediately. As soon as you see them, as soon as you spend a few moments with them, you feel it, and you feel sad or angry or upset as well. You can just feel it. So if you're, when you hang around with your best friend, you're having a great time and you're all completely just having so much fun, and you can just feel their happiness when you're having that sort of time. Or if you spend time with someone who's not in a good state emotionally, it can bring you down. It's like a gas hanging around people. And that's what we're going to be working on today, is working on those emotions, some traumas and some phobias we're going to be doing today. So thank you very much for that. So I'm going to start by doing a little demonstration and quietening your monkey mind. So most people have got monkey minds that are pretty busy, pretty hectic, and I just want to start by showing you what it's like not to have that, so you can get into a quiet place of meditation. We'll start with that, then I'll give you a bit of information about me, and then we shall do some demonstrations on phobias and traumas. If anyone has any questions, please just type them in the box. I will be calling people up on stage, as it were, if people are comfortable doing that. I know it's a bit nerve-wracking doing this stuff, so coming up on camera, not everyone's going to want to do, and if you don't, then you can let me know, but hopefully you'll be able to chat to me and tell me what's going on. So I will start by stilling your minds, if you're happy to do that. If you don't want to do that, just intend for not to do it. But for those of you who are happy to experiment and play the game, let's get going. So basically, just please sit there, close your eyes, and just sit relaxing, like meditate basically, if you're a meditator. If you're not a meditator, same thing, sit quietly. And I will quieten your minds, and then you'll know a bit more about what I'm saying. So all of those like traumas or stresses or whatever's been going on your day, I'll just flatten out, make quiet. Because the thing is, what the work that we're doing is, we're so used to fireworks. We're so used to having animated emotions. Anger's animated, grief's animated, sadness animated, even peace and joy are animated. Flatness is peace. It's still water, flat water. So I'm going to start by showing you what that is, because when we clear traumas, you don't feel anything. And that's what confuses people often. They think that they're numb, but it's actually something people are very unfamiliar with, is peace. Peace is quiet. Peace is still. Peace is nothing. It's no action. So I'm going to show you peace as a beginning point, and then we're going to do individual work. So if everyone's happy to please sit there, close your eyes, and I'm just going to shut down your chitter chatter in your brains, your monkey brains. Okay, then let's go. So please just sit there, close your eyes, and I'll do this for you guys now. Thank you. The first of you should be having quiet minds. I'm just going to make sure that I get to every single one of you. But a few of you will already be feeling very still. Okay, you should all be feeling very still in your minds. Is that accurate? Please get interactive with me and type in the chat box and tell me how you're feeling already. You should be feeling nice and relaxed. None of that chatter in your brains, or at least it's a lot quieter. I think most people have just got so much blah, blah, blah happening. And a lot of it's reverse cheerleaders, I like to call them, sort of negative thoughts. Thank you, Rianna. You're feeling chilled. Fantastic. Yeah, so most people have just got all this chitter chatter, jibber jabber going on in their brains of just, as they say, reverse cheerleaders telling you all sorts of rubbish, that you're not worthy, you're not good enough in some way, you're too fat, too poor, too whatever. You know, there's all of that chitter chatter, and it's much nicer to be living in a place without all of that. So the less trauma that you have, the less chitter chatter you've got in your minds, or this negativity. So what we do is start to clear all those things out of people, little bit by little bit, well, big bit by big bit, really. By clearing traumas, you're less susceptible to this negative chitter chatter. Has anyone else had a good experience of that so far? How's that feeling? Is that nice and quiet? You should be just feeling super chilled. That's all we're looking for, is super chilled. Is that true from anyone else apart from Rianna? And thank you for letting me know, Rianna. So, okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself as well. So, thank you for joining. Some of you don't know me. More grounded, Rodica, and empty-headed. More grounded and empty-headed. That's exactly what we're looking for. Just peaceful. Peace is nothingness, quietness. So empty-headed is exactly what it is. You just don't have that chitter-chatter. And that's who you can be and who you are without these traumas sabotaging you from all these different things that we've all had happen in our lives. They just make everything a lot more stressful. So basically, I've been doing healing for a while now, about 13 years. You felt me. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, I've been doing it for about 13 years, and I started by working on a friend of mine called Lucy. And it's an odd story. It is a strange one, but basically my dear friend Lucy was a stewardess of Virgin Atlantic, and she ended up bursting her eardrum 5 times and not being able to fly because of the burst eardrums. It was very, very painful for her to fly quite often. She got grounded in different countries. And so she went to the doctor, the specialist and the surgeon, as you would, and it was £4,500 for the surgery and a 50% chance it was going to work. Now, the NHS decided that they weren't going to pay for the surgery because the chance of success was so low. So she was getting her money together, and £4,500 was a great deal of money to her. But anyway, she was getting a loan, and she was doing her best to get hold of this money because the pain was excruciating. Sort of 2 or 3 times a week, it would make her fall on the ground in agony. And she said it was worse than childbirth through her ear. And she's since had 2 kids. So yeah, worse than childbirth through her ear. And she said one of the worst situations was when she was in New York City, and it was the depths of winter, and she just ran downstairs in her dressing gown and put some trainers on and just ran into one of the pharmacies over there and was just necking Tylenol in the corridor, sorry, not the corridor, in the aisle of the pharmacy. And yeah, it was just absolutely awful for her. So anyway, so she's gone to all these different people, and well, what do? You just go to the doctors. You don't, I mean, as a normal lay person, that's the only option you've really got. So anyway, she was walking down the street with me, and I'd done a 5-day generic healing course, and she just fell down on the floor, started screaming in agony. Oh my God, my ear, swearing and screaming and foaming at the mouth pretty much. She was, sorry, I've just got someone in the way too. Let me just add, sorry, I have to do this. hang on, admit. Yeah, so she was in so much, Sharon, lovely to see you. She was just in so much pain, and she just was going, help me, fix my ear, help me. And I was like, what do you mean fix your ear? How am I going to fix your ear? She was like, just try, just help me, just try. Sorry, I'm just going to turn off Sharon's camera. So she was, so yeah, she was just in so much pain and just screaming. Sorry, Sharon. Yeah, there we go. So she was just screaming in agony, just going, help me, just try. And I was like, what do you mean help you? And she was like, just try, just help me. And what am I going to do to help you? I have no idea what you're talking about. She just try. And I went, okay, all right. And I went into the loos of a restaurant, I put my hands on her ears, and I started channeling energy. And to my surprise, this weird thing happened, and it looked like there was a snake in her ear, which was there, and it just looked like it was in heat waves, and I was channeling energy and tugging at this thing, and it came out, and it was about 1.5 feet long, and she was screaming, going, get it out, and I did. And then she said, do the other side, and I did the other side, and that was 13 years ago, and the girl has not had earache since, and it completely changed my life. I was doing TV presenting and modeling at the time, totally different world, and I just thought, do you know what? I can't imagine anything more interesting, more rewarding, more fascinating, and cooler than doing this work. So I decided that that's what I was going to do, and I've spent the last 13 years learning this and perfecting it. So another one of the big things that I learned was a friend of mine, Amy, was she's quite a dramatic person, bless her, and she lost her car keys, and she lost her mind with losing her car keys, and she very strongly reacted to losing her car keys. She was super worried about it, and she was just going mad and being quite animated about it, shall we say, and like sort of screaming at everybody that would listen. And she was worried because she lives in London, and she was worried about getting her car towed, which you can understand. But actually, she had some super duper special insurance in it, and they included in the insurance was a free towing back to her house where she had her designated parking spot. So actually, there wasn't a problem, and she had spare keys in the house. So you know, ultimately it wasn't that much of a problem, although she had just moved house and didn't know where the keys were exactly. But it was basically resolved as much as it could be, but she was still very panicked about it, very, very much so. And we were in the back of a cab, and she was just still very, very upset, even though the situation was in hand and the car was already back at her house. And she just started just panicking. And then she just muttered the immortal words, I think I'm having a heart attack. And obviously that's enough to freak anybody out. So I just looked at her, and I just saw her in all this panic, and I thought, I wonder if I can do anything here. I wonder if I can lift that panic and stick it onto myself. And I don't know where the idea came from, some divine inspiration of some sort. And I did. I just went, okay, I'm going to go. And I put it onto myself from her. And she sat there and just went, I feel great. And she actually started dancing in the back of the cab, having literally said, I'm about to have a heart attack, asked the cab driver to turn the music up, and just started dancing around the blooming cab. And, you know, she was like, she thought she'd taken ecstasy. She felt high as a kite. She felt absolutely amazing. And how crazy is that? And I, on the other hand, felt like absolute rubbish. So I was sitting there, and I had this real like chest, like couldn't breathe properly. My whole body started to tense up. My whole posture changed. I was really, really uncomfortable. My eyes started welling up, and tears started rolling down my face. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And she was just dancing and having a great time. Thought she was at a nightclub. So I said to her, so I decided I was going to transmute some of her energy. So turn it, just neutralize some of it. And neutralize some of it for her, and then I would give her some back. So I thought I'd clear a third, keep a third, and give her back a third, so she'd only have a third of the original, which is significantly better than when she started, and I'd have a manageable amount that I'd continue to process, and then, you know, she'd just keep her third. And this was the first time I ever did it. So I did that and I gave her back that third. And then she was like, yeah, I still feel really good. Yeah, it's not as good. I don't feel like I'm on drugs anymore. But she still, you know, she said, I still feel really good. So that's fine. And I had a manageable amount. And then I sort of learned that, you know, emotion is energy. Look at the word emotion or energy in motion. It's the clue is in that. And then I had this other situation. So that was a while before. And then I had another situation a little while later where there was a guy that I started to date, and he was in a similar profession, and we were sort of parallel careers. And I liked him. We'd only been on 1 or 2 dates. It was a very new relationship. Well, even if it was a relationship just that early on, but I had hope for it, should we say. And then he messaged me and said, oh, he's found somebody else. And then I got myself into a pity party, as we all do. We all got upset about various different things at different times. And I sort of sat in bed and I went, you know, as we all do. And then I thought, do you know what? I wonder if I can erase that. And I was really sitting in my pain. And I went, I wonder if I can just dissolve that. And then I did. And then I felt fine about the situation. And I was like, you can erase it. All it is just this stagnation, this fog around people, all these emotions, they're just that. So what we need to do to erase them is for you to feel them. You need to open Pandora's box. You need to feel it, and only feel it one last time. And once you feel it, if you can feel it, I can probably clear it. And that's what we're about to do in a minute. So let's get interactive. Who wants me to work on them? So we're going to do solo events. So this is very, very important that you get this right, because it just takes too long for camera and it doesn't make it, it's not as effective. It just takes a bit long for camera. So we want to make sure that we're doing big, punchy, looks really good, works really well situations. And I'm going to ask you guys to come on camera if you're happy to do that. So I want to get a solo situation. So that's it, means it's called a solo trauma event in psychotherapy, a situation that happened once that you're still upset about, and maybe it happened a while ago. That often makes things easier. If you're very much in a situation, for example, someone has just died 2 days ago, much harder to clear. So we're not going to do that. We want to do something which is punchy, which is easy. So we're going to do like a phobia, or it can be a breakup but not in the last month, and not a grief from the last month. So none of that from the last month, but something a little bit before. So Rodica, is that Rodica? I think it's how you pronounce it. What have you got? Tell me what your situation is, if you can describe it, but it's a solo trauma event. So for example, if you had a difficult relationship with your father, just as an example, instead of saying my relationship with my father, which I can certainly do, and we can do that in private sessions, instead of saying my relationship with the father, think of one particular time when he misbehaved. So the argument, for example, in the kitchen one day, or this argument or that argument. So it's one particular event with one particular person, not the whole of your relationship with an individual. We want solo traumas, solo event traumas. That's what we're going to be focusing on today, or phobias. So it can be a heartbreak. So if someone broke up with you, or you broke up with them, broke your heart, can be grief. Grief doesn't necessarily have to be about someone who's died. It can also be about a situation that never came to pass, something that you wanted to do. Oh, hang on a second. Let me just turn Mary's, hang on, I'm just going to mute Mary. Hi, Mary, I'm just unmuting you, sorry. Yes, I will unmute people, or we can do that in a second. So has anyone got any situations they'd like to do? Solo trauma events. If you can type them in the box, then we'll decide which one is going to be best. And we're going to get Simon to help out as well, because my students can do the same stuff as me. What makes me unique and different is bringing this new work in. So I can bring this new work in. My students are able to do the same sort of work that I'm able to do. So Mary has asked me, she's put her hand up. What does this say? So what's Mary's question? Oh, Mary, would you like to type it in the box? So there's a chat box at the bottom of the screen, is on me. Or you can, yeah, so if you can type in the chat, so it's on the bottom, on the black strip at the bottom of the screen. You should be able to click on the chat, and then you should be able to ask me questions. Fear of, do you mean drowning? Drowning? I think it means fear of drowning. Rodica, are you happy to come on stage, as it were? I know it's nerve-wracking coming on camera. Are you happy to do that? Because it makes it more interactive for people to actually see your face and see things shift. So yes, okay, I'm just going to add you to the call. How do I do that? Let me just scroll down here and more and ask to start video. Okay, she should be coming up in just a second. Hi, asked to unmute. I think you're muted, sweetheart. Okay, how do you say your name, first of all?
Rodica.
Rodica, I did get it right. Okay, good.
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you. Are you
Nice to meet you too. Yes.
Ah, yes, he mentioned you earlier. Fantastic, fantastic. So Simon is going to help out as well. So I'll introduce you to him in just a moment again. So, okay, so you've got fear of drowning, is that right?
Yes, I do. And he's been working a couple of times on it. It's been changing a little by little, but it's still pretty much there. I mean, yeah, I tried, I live in Tenerife right now. I'm very close to the ocean. So last week, a few days ago, yeah, when I went to the ocean, there were huge waves. I managed to stay in the water, but I sometimes I had the feeling like I want to jump head first in the water. I love water, but I couldn't do that. And whenever I could see a big wave coming in, I was running out. My cousin was there and was laughing at me. The thing is that I noticed this fear of water when I was 14 and I almost drowned.
Right.
They took me out of the water unconscious.
Okay.
And,
let's work on that trauma then. I think that the best way around to do it, excuse me, since you know what the trauma is, a lot of people don't know what the trauma is that people are working on. So sometimes, you know, you might have a spider phobia, but you don't know where that came from exactly. But it looks like that came from that particular time. Seems like a very good example. So, and before you were 14, I'm assuming you didn't have any fear of the water, or you did? Before you nearly drowned, fear of the water?
Well, I'm not sure because I never went to a swimming. Sorry, I'm losing you.
Sorry, you never went swimming?
I never went to a swimming class, or there is a delay, I think. I'm going to wait for you to say what. Sorry.
No, go on.
Oh, okay. So before that, I never went for swimming classes or never went to the seaside, although we have Black Sea in Romania. So that was kind of my first water experience. It was in a lake, on a lake. We were just playing on the lake shore and I just fell into, it was like a deep hole that we didn't know about, and I fell into that hole.
Okay.
What I found out about 5 years ago in a regression, it was that in the last lifetime, before coming into this lifetime, I died drowning in a cave when I was 16 on my birthday.
Okay, you're going to give me a nice complicated one to work on.
That was, yeah, that was another hint.
In front of a big crowd, fantastic.
Yeah, in the regression, I saw myself dying in that cave, drowning. It was very peaceful at the end, but yeah, after that, it was the first time ever in my life when I was able to go in a swimming pool and stay on the bottom of the swimming pool, like 2-meter deep swimming pool.
This sounds complicated.
Swimming class.
Lovely. Alrighty. So let's first of all. So I'm not sure if has Simon done it in sections or has he just done it as a whole?
We haven't done much.
Well, I don't know what he's
done. We just did one shot.
Okay, Simon, why don't we get you on camera as well? So more asked to start video. Yes, okay, so I think it needs to be done in sections, Simon. So this is Simon, who's one of my beautiful practitioners and my glamorous assistant. So I think that it needs to be done in sections. So I think we'll do the one in the past life, and then we'll do the one from the 14, and then we'll do it as a whole. Is that cool with everybody? Cool. All right, so if you can think about the past life and just sort of tune into that, we'll intend to clear the drowning from past lives. So if you just close your eyes and think about that as much as you possibly can, and let's give this a go. That feels better. Any other past life? Okay. Let's do the past life. Let's do the one from 14 as well. So think about nearly drowning at 14, please. Okay. And then we'll just do the fear of drowning as a whole. Okay. How's that feeling now?
It's I could feel it in the whole body, especially in my feet. There was like movement, and it was like this images getting deleted of my head kind of thing. This is the only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like.
Because you don't have the attachment.
While I was imagining and remembering the
the delay is funny. Yeah, it's the non-attachment.
There is a delay, and
You talk.
The internet here on the island, I think it's when I turn my camera on, it doesn't work that well. It felt like when you told me to get into that feeling, there were images in my head, and at some point I felt like those images were deleted. And some peacefulness and relaxation came with that. It was more the energy went all to my feet. It was all that's amazing.
And now when you think about it, if you think about drowning now, how does it make you feel? If you close your eyes and think about water or swimming in the sea, think about swimming in the sea.
I see myself swimming. I don't need that constant control of having my feet touching the ground anymore. And I could see myself swimming with my head underwater, which was really difficult. I can't wait to try this in the ocean.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Awesome. Well, that worked. That was a little bit of a complicated one that I wouldn't have necessarily wanted to do on camera, but luckily it worked out perfectly. I love putting myself in the hot seat. It's great fun. Okay, thank you, Rodica. Okay, I'm going to switch you off. Okay, stop video. Okay, wonderful. So that was exciting. Well done, Simon.
That was fun.
That was fun, right? We just needed to section it off. Sometimes with phobias, you learn how to clear phobias in level 1, but sometimes they're a bit more complicated and a bit more deep when they've got things like past life issues going into them. So then you just need to, she was quite easy because she knew what the situation was. She knew it was a past life, she knew it was a current life, and she knew that she had the whole thing overall. So we managed to section it quite well. It would have been harder to do it in the normal way, but still doable. So Simon is a level 5 student, practitioner now. How have you found Divine Empowerment so far?
It's kind of crazy, but it's amazing. It's when I came across it, I really wanted it to be true, but I wasn't sure. And I gave it a shot. And when I first had a treatment doing themes, took me to a while actually to realize just how deeply things had shifted for me. It was like wiping a whole load of really deep trauma that I'd never got close to touching. I've done a whole lot of healing work, therapy and other energy work, and this just worked at a whole deeper level.
Now Simon's, about to be on the website as a practitioner tomorrow. You're going to be up, actually. We're studying all that. So so a theme, for those who don't know, probably everybody, is a theme is, so I call, like, we have the solo trauma events, or we have a theme which is like betrayal or abandonment or grief or rejection. So it's like something which has happened multiple times. So it could also be something about your relationship with a particular person, or it can be just a thing which keeps on happening to you. Maybe everybody breaks your heart, or maybe everybody does something. So that would be, and you can rip out the whole of the theme from people. And the other thing that's interesting is about how karma works, as I see it, which is slightly different from other people, I'm sure. Basically, I think we're at school and we're learning all these lessons. And unfortunately, and I'm sure everyone here is familiar with the law of attraction. The law of attraction is all about what you focus on comes to you, right? So they always tell you, if you're not doing well financially, don't focus on lack, you have to focus on abundance. Basic stuff. I'm sure everybody knows that. Unfortunately, it goes a bit deeper, or I mean, just does. But unfortunately, there are things like, if there was, I don't know, infidelity, for example, in your house growing up, then because it's been in your field from your parents growing up, then you're going to be attracting that towards you just because it's in your field. And so you're going to be attracting partners who will be doing that to you. Until you clear that from your field, it will just keep on sucking it all in like that. So it's really, really, really important to start clearing themes. Otherwise, the universe will deliver what it is you don't want. Just think of it in the terms of a restaurant. Say you go to a restaurant and you want to get the steak for dinner, but you keep ordering the ruddy chicken. And you keep on saying, waiter, waiter, chicken, chicken, chicken. And then, but you're actually asking for the steak. You say one steak and 30 times chicken. He's bringing you the chicken. Because he doesn't understand. Because your order is what's in your field. And so until you clear your field, you're going to be ordering something you don't ruddy want, which is why it's so important to clear themes. Otherwise, that situation you don't want to keep on happening will keep on happening. It's a snowball effect, and that's how karma works. So it's very, very important to know this and to start clearing themes. Otherwise, you just get stuck in a karmic wheel, a hamster wheel of all this rubbish happening to you time and again. So clearing themes is super, super important. What level is that on? 3? Is it themes?
Themes 3.
Themes is 3. So if anyone is interested in studying with me, you learn a lot very, very, very quickly. You do the solo traumas, or you do in level 1. So solo traumas and phobias you do in level 1, and meditation hacks will drop you into stillness and meditation very quickly. Energetic hooks, which are sort of like evil eyes. Some really cool things like changing the taste of wine using energy, which just is a personal favorite of mine, just probably because I'm a show off and I think it's really fun to use energy in that way and show how energy works. I'm going to send Simon off. Thank you, Simon. I'm going to switch your camera off for now. So yes, you can change the taste of wine. You can do things like play around with hot and cold energy. So if you're too hot, you run hot. If you're too cold, you run cold. Other little things like energetic pharmaceuticals, which are quite useful. Those are things like energetic aspirin, or what have we got? Energetic aspirin, or there's one for antihistamine, which is good if you get bitten, so that or you are around cats if you have an allergy. It's sort of like taking a Claritin, that sort of stuff. So that's all in level 1. And level 1, if you are interested, the next workshop is this weekend coming, the 19th and the 20th of September, 10:30 until 4:30. From my place in London, we've got a space for another couple in person, because I know Boris has just changed the laws, otherwise Zoom. And that's 250, but there is a code which I can give you, which is, what have I done? Oh, it's event 10 for 10% discount. And if you do buy it, then the lovely and glamorous Simon or someone else in my team will also give you a free 30-minute session on anything you want to work on. We're also doing other events if you like them. I mean, my classes are monthly, or and then I'm also doing these fun little things which are an hour-long workshops if people aren't quite ready for classes. They are, the next one's on the Sunday, the October 11th, and then November 8th. Everything's on my website anyway, but we've got 1 hour workshops: breaking up with heartbreak, changing the taste of wine as you learn to do yourself, phobias, clearing people's phobias, elevate your happiness, which is a nice one just to make you feel better, and then some grief, and then spoon bending. Spoon bending is actually on level 2 if you do want to learn it. So who wants to go next? What are we working on for people next? What did we say? Mary, did you have fear of drowning as well? Was that what you said? Mary, if you can type in, which do you have fear of drowning? And then we can work on you as well. Loneliness. Okay, let's do Mary, are you still there? And can you type and tell me what it is? Was it drowning? We can do that. Or Rianna, fear of loneliness after the trauma of my relationship breakup. How's your relationship, Rianna? How are you feeling around your relationship breakup? Have you still got heartbreak around that? So guys, let me know. Little complicated. So is it one breakup? Do you want to get on screen and we'll just have a little chat and see how it is, Rianna? Yeah, are you ready? Yes, pop me on the screen. Okay, Rianna, let's do that. Rianna, more. Ask to start video. Here we go, Rianna. Here we go. Hi. Oh, sorry, your sound's not working, love. Ask to unmute. Turn your audio on, please. There you go.
Working? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Antonia. Nice to meet you. So, am I still heartbroken? I feel like I'm over the person, but maybe the situation probably not.
Okay.
It was 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I've met people since then.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to feel like I'm never going to meet anyone, and that I possibly shouldn't keep being so nice to people. I was very nice to my ex, and he done something that wasn't very nice to me, which obviously resulted in me now being a single parent. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
It was New Year's Day. I found him in a hotel with another woman. So.
Okay, betrayal, I think might be a big thing for you right now.
I think so, yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, have you had a lot of betrayal in your life?
Not particularly. It's only with him, really.
All right then. So, shall we focus on, you finding him in bed with another woman and the trauma associated with that? That might be more of a thing than the heartbreak, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Or just being lonely. I'm just scared I'm just going to be alone forever.
So,
yeah,
dying a lonely
heartbreak.
spinster. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do both. Okay, let's start with betrayal. Let's focus on, and Simon's going to help me out too, focus on the walking in and finding him in bed with another lady. So please just close your eyes and feel it, get upset about it, drop into it, and we'll work on that. That feels better to me. How's that feeling to you, Rianna?
Yeah, I feel like my chest feels like a lot lighter.
Yeah,
It's
grief
really,
normally sits in the lungs. It's a, according to Chinese medicine, grief sits in the lungs. So often when people can't breathe, it's grief. So, you know, that's often affects a lot of people. So if you feel better breathing, then that's probably the grief cleared out. So you can breathe better. How does it feel if you think about that situation? Does it still feel as gut-wrenching? It should feel a lot lighter, much more neutral at peace.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter.
Good. Right. Let's do that. I feel for you, so I'm going to do the other bit as well, because I just,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't meaning to, but I just,
Horrible.
oh God,
It is
blimmin' that
horrible.
man, you know, as it is. Okay,
No.
so I know, because it can just set you up. Yeah, that's a good release. It's clearing out of you.
It
Okay.
is.
Let's do the fear of dying a lonely spinster. So yeah, sit there and just fantasize all your worst case scenarios in your head, and I'll clear it for you now.
Thank you.
We will. Yeah. That feels better. How's that feeling, Rianna?
Much better. I feel light. Like I feel really light.
How do you feel about potentially dating another man?
I think I can date another man. I feel like, yeah, I don't feel like as worried as I did before, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like very, I don't know,
At peace with it.
a lot more people, yeah. Like I have room. I don't know. I feel like I'm not in a box. It's weird. I feel very different.
Yeah, it's because that it's almost like compressing you. That trauma just sits on you like that, and then you clear that out. Then you've just got all this space, and it's all like, ooh, I can breathe again, and I can move again.
Yeah,
you get compressed by it. Yeah,
I agree. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Are you going to come on a course? You should come on a course and come and learn this magic for yourself.
I'm gonna have a look. As soon as we get off. Definitely gonna have a look.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will stop your video as well. Now, I wanted to talk to Mary, because I think, so when we do a particular trauma, so thank you very much, Rianna, by the way. Mary, do you want to come on screen? Because I think what's happened to you is, from what she's saying, is she felt a very similar situation to the first person, Rodica, and felt about to be sick when we were doing it. So I think she's done part of the work. When we were doing Rodica, I think we did some of Mary's work, because sometimes people are at the same situations, then they do both of them at the same time. So I feel like Mary's half done. So I'd like to get Mary, if she's up for it, on screen and finish her off. Otherwise she's going to have half a phobia, and that's just kind of a bit awkward. So let's see if she would like to come on screen. Asked to start video, and hopefully she will be coming on screen and we can get it going. Hi Mary, how are you? Oh, sorry, your audio's off. Asked to unmute. Your sound's off.
Oh.
Hi Mary, how are you
there?
doing? Yep.
It's there now, yeah?
Yes.
Oh yeah, exactly the same. Almost drowned about 3 times. Started off quite young as a child. Panic attack starts as soon as the water comes over my face or near my face. Can't breathe. But when you were doing it with that lady, I started to feel like I was going to go, you know, when you, is it retch or whatever you call it?
Yeah.
I felt I was going to be sick, and felt quite panicky. And the water, I could sense the water coming up near my face, and I just couldn't breathe very well.
Right, you need to be finished off. Okie dokie, so please just think about drowning, and Simon and I will do our thing. Okay, that feels a lot better to me. How's that feeling to you, Mary?
Yeah, I felt I was going to be sick again, like retching again,
Yeah.
and couldn't breathe. But now I've got a bit of pain in the back of my head, but I feel still I'm struggling a bit to breathe, but I feel calmer.
Yeah.
I don't feel that sheer panic. So I feel inside a bit. I think apprehensive maybe is the word if I had to go in the water, but I don't feel the blinding panic right now. I have to say I just feel a bit calmer. So that's good.
Yeah, it sounds like progress, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't, as I say now, that the retching thing, it's as if I was taking in water.
It looked like that to me, or it felt like that to me somehow. Yeah, it looked like you were actually drowning and you like it was almost coming out. Like, I don't know, maybe there was a past life of drowning and it's almost like a reverse drowning sort of happening. Like you would like, you know, well, when you do drown or nearly drown, and then you're like coughing and spluttering on the side, you know, that's
Yes, yeah. Well, the past life thing was I was drowned as a witch in the ducking
Weren't we all, darling?
Yeah, but yeah, I have to say now, I definitely feel a lot calm. I don't feel that panic. Just thinking about it, I don't feel like I'm hyperventilating even thinking about it, because that's what happens. But I feel quite calm, I have to say. Suddenly very tired, but calm. Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, that seems like we managed it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mary. No problem at all. Okay, so let's stop that video. So, any other questions, comments? Let me have a read through what's going on in my chat just for a minute before we close. I know I've only said an hour, so I don't want to run over and take everyone's whole evening up. So we had Rianna, sorry, I'm just going to mute Mary as well. So, Lindy, I'll talk to you afterwards because I know you've got some other things going on. That's really good. A wave of tiredness. Yes, it can feel very, very tiring doing this work because there's a big shift. And it's you either feel it's one way or the other. You either feel very, very sort of energized and bouncy, or you feel absolutely ruddy knackered and you just don't know which way it's going to be going. So is anyone interested in doing a workshop with me? As I said, I'll be teaching this weekend. There's a lot of opportunities for practitioners. So I'm doing a lot of press at the moment because I think it's really important to get this work out, because as you've seen, we can do life-changing work in only a few minutes. You know, you've seen that a few times today already, and I'm very interested in getting this work out, though, hence all my press over here. So I've got the Daily Mirror I need to stick on my wall, and I haven't done that yet, but I've got that too. So but my level 4 practitioners will be from next week advertising my website as well, and I'll be taking commission, but then all your bookings, well, whatever bookings you like, can be going through my website. Obviously, if you pull people in by yourself, that's up to you, but you can also have a lot of, well, I'm hoping for a lot of people coming through for you directly through my website, because I just think there's such a need for it. Because, you know, one of my taglines is an alternative to psychotherapy, and honestly, we can do so much in so little time. It's really life-changing and very, very fulfilling. So there are opportunities, career opportunities, and the wonderful thing about it is you can be sitting anywhere that you like. You can be sitting, you know, living on a tropical island and just coming in and doing some work, and then going back, you know, back away and having some fun. You can be doing this completely on the road. So it's a really good way of working, which is nourishing to your soul as well as helpful to the planet at large. So that's really cool. So anyone have any questions? Hang on a second. Rianna's just messaged saying, I'm a nurse. Oh, is she? And I felt like the course would be very beneficial, particularly for myself. Where can I find the information or have a further chat at some point? Yes, everything's on my website, divineempowerment.co.uk. I will be sending people an email afterwards with information. But for sure, we have another nurse actually as well, Julie, who works at the Chelsea Westminster Hospital. Actually, we had someone we were working, it was very interesting with Vanessa, who's one of the students on the level 2. She had a lot of chest pain. She had COVID, and she had and she was on a ventilator, and she had a lot of chest pain afterwards. We managed to clear the chest pain that she had on level 2. So yes, we are. I love having medical people working with me, because they obviously have a different source of knowledge, and I'm all about cross-pollination and people knowing all these wonderful things, and why not use everybody's wisdom together? It's all about team, it's all about tribe, it's all about working together, because you guys know stuff I don't know. I'm good at certain things, you guys are good at other things, and that's great. It's everybody working together and growing a community and really helping the world at large. So yes, as I said, I've got courses coming up. The website, I will type it in now. It's divineempowerment.co.uk, but it's all on my Instagram. And since you've all found me from Instagram, yeah, it's all on there. But the next course, as I said, it's £250, but there is a 10% off code, which is event 10 for the next it's 24 hours, I think. Yeah, the next 24 hours you'll be able to get some money off, and that's for any of the products that I'm selling. So it can be this course, which is September 19th and 20th, or October 17th and 18th, or November 14th to 15th. And it doesn't matter which course you take, because life gets in the way of things, doesn't it? So if you wanted to take a course at a later time, that's no problem. As I said, we've got the lovely Simon and maybe some of the other practitioners who will be doing a Brucey bonus of a half an hour healing for anyone who signs up in the next 24 hours. So that's really nice of him and generous of him to be doing that. As I said, the event 10 code is across the board. So if you want any healings with me or any of the practitioners, that's also will be working now, and the 1 hour workshops as well as healings with anybody in classes. So any other questions, comments? It's coming to the close of the hour. If anyone would like to introduce me to your friends and promote my page and everything, that would be great. We're working to build this community as quickly as possible. So please do send my stuff on to other people. I will include everybody in the weekly newsletters, which, because I've got your email address. So what is this? What does it say? Christina, is it a little bit scary? Is it just me? What's scary, Christina? Tell me what's scary. That we managed to clear these things, or tell me what's going on with you. Yeah, I think that we've all just got these amazing abilities. This power is scary. Really? I think, Christina, I think we're all gods and goddesses. who forgot how freaking awesome we are. And I spent the last 13 years awakening some of my latent abilities. And I think we all have these abilities. And I think, you know, the thing is, we don't know much about some of the people who've been able to do really, really cool things. So there's one chap that everybody knows about who was able to do incredible healings. What people are unfamiliar with, there's 160,000 monks in Chinese and Tibetan written history who were able to do exactly the same things of instant healing, instant manifestation, and all those different things. So it's not as unique as we think it is. And I think that more and more people are beginning to awaken their gifts and become who they were always meant to be. So, and I can awaken these within you, and it's a divine energy because you are divine. It's awakening the goddess and God within, because you guys are far more amazing than you have a clue about. Me too. And I'm just awakening these gifts day by day, week by week, year by year, and now we're able to do these wonderful things. You know, I had this amazing situation in level 2 a while ago where one of the students, Martin, had depression for 30 years. Now, with depression for 30 years, you go and see every single person, you know, you go and see your shamans and your doctors and your pills and everything else you do with depression. And amazingly, amazingly, well, he was stuck in his depression. Obviously, it's unusual, it's quite difficult, obviously, to get out of depression. But I said, almost flippantly, students, you can clear his depression. And everybody sort of thought I was completely balmy, as often is the case. And within about 8 minutes or so, I thought his depression looked like it was gone. And I said, Martin, how are you feeling? Do you still have depression? And he said, I can't find it. What does that mean? He said, the emptiness is gone and I feel cheerful. Well, when was the last time you felt cheerful? And he said it was 5 months ago. 5 months ago, but he'd had a few beers. Well, when was the last time you felt cheerful without alcohol? He said he couldn't remember. And that's about 3 months ago, and he has never had a symptom of depression since. He did have one thing which was quite interesting, where he had the Pavlov's dogs. He kept on expecting to have depression and waking up with it, but it wasn't. We cleared that, so he's been fine since. But he's not had a whisper of depression for 3 months since that 10 minutes with my students. So, you know, this is revolutionary, groundbreaking. And thank you guys for joining me. I will send that email out. Everything is on my website, divineempowerment.co.uk. Christina, if you want to talk to me more about the power, or anyone wants to talk to me, you are very, very welcome. Does anyone want to stay on and have a conversation with me about anything? I'm happy to stay on and close for anyone else. I'm not sure if anyone wants to have a private word or wants to understand a bit more before I sign off. I'm happy to do that. But thank you everyone for joining. If you have anything else you want to stay, yes, please, Rianna, stay on. Anyone who wants to stay, I'll close it for everyone else because it's been the hour and I don't want to take up your entire evenings. And thank you so much for lending me an hour, and I hope you've got something out of it and learned some beautiful things. And anyone who wants to stay on and have a chat with me, I'm more than happy to talk to anyone else who's around. And thank you so much for joining. Anyone who wants to stay on, and anyone else who wants to go. And any questions that anyone's got, I'm absolutely happy to listen and help as much as I can. So thank you, everybody who wants to go, who wants to stay. Thank you. Okay. So any questions, comments, I can open up the screen. Oh, we've still got quite a lot of people in. I've only lost 2 people. What can I do for you? What would you like to know? Rodica, thank you as well. Yes. Who else wants to talk? Does anyone want to come on screen and have a conversation? It might be easier if it's a 2-way conversation. Does anyone want to come on screen and have a chat? Anyone want to say anything to me? Who wants to have a conversation? I think I'm going to turn the video off now. Okay. Yes.